I've been bodybuilding for over 4 years and I've learned a lot over the years. I've made a lot of muscle. I went from 120 to 175 pounds right now. Throughout this whole process, I've made a lot of mistakes. And I mean a lot of mistakes. In this video, I'm going to explain the 5 biggest mistakes that vegetarian bodybuilders make and how to fix them. I've been vegetarian throughout my entire life and I've still been vegetarian throughout my bodybuilding journey. If you're anything like the beginner version of me, I know you're making at least one of these mistakes, if not all of these mistakes. These things are in no particular order. The first mistake, not enough protein. If you don't eat enough protein, you will not grow. There are 3 things in bodybuilding which I like to call the holy trinity of bodybuilding, and that is training, recovery, and diet. Protein falls under the diet category, which I think is the most incorrectly implemented category of the 3 in the holy trinity. Protein is literally the building blocks for your muscles. If you don't eat enough protein, your muscles will not grow as best as they can. If you're thinking, I'm still growing without getting enough protein in, yeah, you're still gonna grow some because you're forcing your muscle to have some stimulus, but you're not growing as much as you could be. I didn't take protein seriously for a very long time. When I first started working out, I did start to drink protein shakes and I started to look out for more protein-packed meals, but I didn't intentionally go out of my way to consume those protein meals. I would go out of my way to drink protein shakes, but I wouldn't go out of my way to eat protein meals. If I had the opportunity to during that moment, then I would, but other than that, I didn't go out of my way. This led to me not growing as fast as I could. This has led to me not growing as best as I could. I wasted years off my journey because I did not take this particular step seriously. Eat enough protein or you won't grow as much as you want to grow. The rule of protein is to aim for 0.7 to 1 gram per pound of body weight or 1.6 to 2.2 grams per kilogram of body weight. The second mistake is eating too much of those carb-packed, calorie-dense meals. Those meals basically have no nutritional benefit to our goals. They might taste good, but apart from that, they're just a ton of calories and a ton of carbs. Carbs are good for energy. Carbs are energy source, but you probably don't need help getting more carbs into your diet. I'm sure you have no problem getting enough carbs. Why would you want to get more and more carbs and just get fatter and get bloated? There are a few particular meals I can think of that are carb heavy and calorically dense. Things like daidokri, every time I eat it, I get so bloated. I could go into the bathroom and look in the mirror and see that I have somewhat abs and then eat that meal, then go back into the bathroom and I'm just like, I just get a big stomach because of that meal. It bloats me so much. Why? Because it has so many carbs and it has so many calories. Also, basically any Indian snack. Indian snacks are known to have so many carbs and so many calories for nothing. They taste pretty good, like ratlami sev or like kantia, but they're literally just carbs and calories. You shouldn't be eating those very often. If you really, really like them, you're gonna be fine eating just a little bit. If you eat it more than just once or twice a week, you're eating it too much. You're getting too many calories. You're wasting calories at that point, and you're just getting way too many carbs. Too many carbs will also lead to other problems in your life. The third mistake is not eating enough. This is particularly for bulking. I guess the opposite could also apply if you're cutting. Eating too much if you're cutting. But I'm going to talk to you in terms of bulking. Not eating enough while bulking equals no weight gain. No weight gain equals no muscle gain. You gain muscle so much slower if you are not bulking. It is very noticeable. When I am not actively increasing in body weight, my muscles do not get that much noticeably bigger. And I don't get that much noticeably stronger. I might get 1 extra rep every month, but other than that, it's really not noticeable. When you eat enough, you're giving your body the nutrients it needs to actively grow, to actively form bigger muscles. Also, you need to eat protein. If you're just eating extra calories, that's not enough. You have to eat right while you are eating enough. And if you're cutting, please don't waste your calories on stupid things like sauces. You're just wasting your time. And the fourth thing is thinking your genetics are holding you back. I thought for the longest time that I was not able to grow because my genetics were bad. My genetics were the reason that I am small, and they're the reason why it is so hard for me to gain muscle. So what? You've already been dealt the cards you are given. Now play that hand as best as you can. Don't fold. Just because you were given bad genetics doesn't mean you should use that as an excuse to not grow. What if I told you that the other things on this list are probably the reason you're not growing? Your genetics is the last thing you should worry about because you can't change it. You cannot change your genetics. That is the last thing you can change. If you can't change something, then you shouldn't worry about it. You shouldn't be worrying about something that is out of your control. For something like having small arms, that's because you're not hitting biceps enough. That's because you're not hitting triceps enough. That's because you're not hitting shoulders enough. You don't have small arms because you're just given small arms. You might be given small arms in the beginning, but it's up to you to get bigger arms. It's up to you to get bigger. And the fifth thing on this list is thinking you need to eat meat to get bigger. Again, I've thought this for a long, long time. If I ate meat, this would be all so much easier. And honestly, that's true. Eating meat would get a lot more protein and thus making this a lot more easier. But it's not needed. I've been vegetarian throughout this entire process. I've been a vegetarian throughout my entire life, and I don't plan on changing it. I have made this much gains throughout this whole process. If I can do it, you can do it too. And I've done it while making all of these mistakes. If you correct these mistakes sooner, you will get bigger way faster. A wise man learns from his own mistakes, and even wiser man learns from the mistakes of others. I just gave you 5 of the biggest mistakes I made throughout my lifting journey. These mistakes held me back for a long time. These mistakes held my gains back. I am literally weaker and smaller because I made these mistakes. Fix these mistakes and you will be bigger. I guarantee you that. You know what to do. Get up and get after it.